Welcome. Yay! Is that on here? Hello, hello. Yeah. We're getting there. Hello, everyone. There we go. We're going to go with that. Maybe this will start working eventually. Welcome to the Seattle International Film Festival. My name is Dustin Casper. I'm Educational Programs Manager and a programmer. And you are here for tonight's Seattle premiere of If There's a Hell Below. There are many people in the house tonight who've been involved and worked on this film. And it is an honor to have it here as part of the festival this year. Really quickly, want to thank our sponsors for tonight's screening. For Culture, the Seattle Office of Arts and Culture, Washington State Arts Commission, the National Endowment for the Arts, City Arts, and Seattle Weekly. Give them all a big round of applause. Also want to give a super shout out to all of our members in the audience. Thank you very much for being members of SIF and supporting us year round. Everyone has that opportunity to become a member, in which you get discounts throughout the year on tickets here at SIF Cinema and also during the festival, as well as at Popcorn Punch Card, word of mouth screenings. The list goes on and on and on. And now, if you join, renew, or upgrade your membership to the benefactor level or above, volunteer. I feel like not using it now. No. Oh my God, that's really live too. It's like I need to hold it this far away. I can stop yelling at you, I suppose. But if you join, renew, or upgrade your membership at the benefactor level or above, you will be put into a drawing for a dream vacation. A dream perhaps you did not even realize you've had yet, of going to the 2017 Guadalajara Film Festival, in which you will have 2 Alaska Airlines flight tickets, 8 nights of accommodation, and 2 festival passes. And when you join, renew, or upgrade your membership to the benefactor level or above on or before June 12th. And we will have the big drawing after the festival closes. Also, if you're an iOS user, you can download the SIF Mobile Tickets app and basically keep all your tickets on your phone. Don't have to worry about leaving them at home, unless you leave your phone at home, which no one does. Yeah, how many of you? Okay, good. We do have an Android app that is in process and will be out very soon, so if you are one of those peoples, don't fret, please. If you haven't already done so, please turn off the cell phones that those of you who remembered to bring them, brought. That was the weirdest sentence I've said all week. Please keep it in your pocket. No texting, no talking during the film. Thank you very much. You've been given an awesome ballot. This is a lot of power in your very fabulous hands. This is the Audience Award ballot for SIF, and you as the audience get to participate. You see the numbers 1 through 5 and the corresponding star ratings. All you have to do once the film is complete is determine how you would evaluate the film you are about to see, if there's a hell below. And 5 stars is I really, really loved it. 1 star is the opposite of that. And 2, 3, 4, obviously gradations in between. And all you have to do is tear about halfway through the paper for the number of stars that you would choose. So I'm going to give If There's a Hell Below a 5. Watch, learn. I haven't done it yet. Don't get too excited. Here we go. All right, it's time to get excited. That's all. Yes. Please, autographs later. Yeah, turn it into the ballot box on your way out, and we will take care of counting everything up and announce the Golden Space Needle Audience Award winner on June 12th. So, that is all I absolutely have to say. Though I'm incredibly delighted to have this film here, and particularly this filmmaker. Nathan will remember that in the very first thing that I ever programmed, which was the One Reel Film Festival in 2006, I had the honor of playing Circled Wagons, one of his early short films, and I've known him since then, and I'm super proud of that, and I'm super proud to welcome him to the stage as director of If There's a Hell Below. Give him a big round of applause.
Thank you. I didn't know I was introducing. So, first of all, thanks to Dustin particularly, and SIF as a whole, for really, nurturing local filmmakers, of whom I'm one of. But you programmed my first short to play in a festival, and that's not a small thing. Like Circle Wagons isn't famous and isn't like most of you probably never seen it. Right, but if that hadn't happened, maybe I would have given up along the way. I hope not. But it really means a lot how much SIF, it was one real time, but SIF really makes a huge difference in the lives of local artists, local filmmakers. So it's an honor to be playing my first feature here. It's something, 20 years ago, if you told me it was happening, I might not believe you, but it's about as close to a dream come true as you can get. And I don't want to say much else before the film. I hope you guys like it. It's a slow burn, but stay with it. It's going to pay off. And I'll see you at the end, and we'll do some Q&A. Thank you so much for coming.
Stick around.
You're...
Don't say my name.
Did you see that car arrive?
They're following us.
Why'd you become a journalist?
Can I ask you some questions?
No. We don't talk about any of this in the car. I'm the one you're here to meet. Now let's go.
A couple quick questions, and then I'm going to open it up out here. Ooh, we're getting lovely feedback. I'll step away from you. Yes, we'll get on even sides. With this, was this you and your brother? I believe, I assume, another person named Williams.
Matthew is my brother.
wrote the story of this. Was this something that you guys have been hatching for a long time and kind of workshopping around, or was this like very much like it came out fairly fully formed in a this is what we want to do with this story?
We've been kicking around for a number of years an idea of doing a very simple, minimalist thriller involving cars. That we would place these characters in a car, and there's this notion of a very low budget film, but it's a one set film, right? And instead of the one set being an apartment or a cabin in the woods, the one set would be a car. So we'd move the set around and get more bang for our buck and see more stuff. So that was the kind of original sandbox we forced ourselves in. And about 3 years ago, I tried to make I tried to finance a more ambitious film. Didn't come together, and I got together with my brother that summer, and I was like, if we're worth a damn, we can come up with something that's cheaper and just as good. And the story developed in a couple weeks, and then wrote the script over a few months.
And was it something that once you got actors together, was this verbatim what was there? Was there a good deal of workshopping, kind of rehearsrsal that continued to shape the story?
I mean, the actors might answer that better.
Well, don't ask them. Let them stand there quietly.
Would you?
No, I'm joking.
I remember one rehearsal on my porch in Seattle where we were reading through the lines, and I think we changed one. You got to change one. And I think I got to cut one. And that was all the workshopping that I remember. Is there anything else?
I think I've worked with Nathan a couple times. I think in general you're pretty open to, if this sounds weird coming out of your mouth, say it in whatever way you prefer.
Yeah.
I think there are a couple directors that I've worked with in the audience, and I am guilty of taking liberties with that. But I think that in this case, we stuck pretty closely to the script.
And our friendly killers over there, was there a lot of preparation for your roles?
They killed a few people. Right?
Yeah, that's my hope. The real
We
story.
had one rehearsal, two. I think we had one rehearsal too, and it involved searching a car. It was like, how do you search a car? That kind of thing.
How do you search a car and look like you've done it?
Right. Yeah, no, in terms of the text, ours is pretty simple, and we didn't change anything.
probably why you were hired. Brilliant.
Nathan's already pretty good with words, so.
It seems like it, yeah. Are there questions out here, I imagine?
What up top center?
Up top center. Yep, wherever you are. If you are up top center, speak.
How puzzled do you expect me to be right now?
How puzzled do you expect this fine gentleman to be right now?
My hope, I don't want to frustrate you. I'm going to stand over here because we're getting like feedback. I don't want to frustrate you. Hopefully I've given you something that you want to like think about and grapple with. It's the end of the movie is effectively a crime scene and you're the detective, and hopefully there's enough that you want to try to put the things together in your head at the end, or when you're dreaming tonight, it comes together. We're not just throwing stuff against the wall to annoy you. It's a challenging narrative choice we did at the end, and we don't take that for granted. We know that some people that's not their thing, but it's not just to be difficult and aggravating. So I hope the preceding parts of the film gave you enough that you're interested in finding out more in your own exploration.
I'd really like to know whose job it was to fill in the grave.
At the end?
Yeah.
To dig the grave, do you mean like production-wise, or?
No, I mean within the context of the story. It should have been someone's job to make sure that the grave did not stay open.
Oh yeah, but not these guys.
Right, so
Someone else dug it, and then they leave, and then someone else. It's a smooth-running machine of murder.
That's been perfected by the Williams brothers over the past several years.
Yeah.
This is a how-to film.
My brother did the research. Yeah, if this was the story of the grave, you'd see just some guy come and fill it in. He'd be confused because there's only one person there. You're like, uh-oh, somebody's in trouble.
That's a whole nother story. That's if there's a hell below too, is the story of the grave.
Anybody want to finance that? I got the story ready. We got some of our characters alive.
There's a question right up there. Go ahead, sir.
So what was that device that was like Men in Black that she used on MMA Live Noise?
Ooh, just so everyone can hear it, what was the device that was like Men in Black that made the noise?
So there was some kind of very basic, we didn't want the movie to be too techy and, lasers and hacking and stuff. But that's a little bit of a conceit where the idea was if Abe was wearing a wire, she had constructed this device that would be so loud and hit some certain frequency that would like break the microphones, that it would irreparably damage any kind of bug he had on him. So she had constructed this thing, and you got to play with it. It didn't actually make any noise on set, so but he reacted very, very well, as if there was
as if he were an actor.
Yeah, but that was the concept. That was the concept.
He's available, folks. There's a question right down here. Go ahead.
I was just wondering how many of the anecdotes of like the caterpillars and the box turtles were drawn from you or your brother's childhood or personal experience.
The question is the caterpillars and the box turtles were those drawn from actual Williams' childhood experience?
From the twisted
That's the pre-murderous childhood.
Before he turned to murder. They were both actual. The foundation of them were true, and not because I wanted to funnel my own childhood into a movie, but I wanted them both to have the kind of rhythm of a real story. Like when you watch some movies, stories are too perfect and they're too constructed and they just go. But when you hear someone tell a real story, just hanging out with a friend, they kind of have these meandering things of like, oh, it was this college town, and people fill in unnecessary details. So the caterpillars did happen. I did smash them because it horrified me. The box turtle, I never found the box turtle. I don't have a daughter. I didn't go back. That kind of magical ending didn't happen. But the setup is real, which is not inherent to the meaning of the film. It's just convenient to grab those things. Yeah, thanks for asking. No one's ever asked that before.
Right in the middle there. Go ahead.
Before the polarization session, I just wanted to say, as one filmmaker to another, thank you for actually making a work that is challenging and radical instead of being safe.
Thank you.
I think it's very rare within American cinema to actually see something like this come out. That being said, watching it, I can immediately see that someone who has influence from woke cinema and whatnot. I can see things like Barrett or Zheng and whatnot.
Big fans of both of those.
So I was just very curious to kind of elaborate on what informed
The visual form? I don't know. I mean, there was not any one filmmaker or one film movement that I said I want to do this. My cinematographer and I, Christopher Messina, who I've worked with a number of times, we made a number of shorts together, and we're certainly influenced by lots of people. We're not on our own island, but we're at the point in working together where we have a style and we like what we like, and we're not saying what would Claire Denis do here or what would Michael Haneke do here, even though that's in our DNA now. We can't escape that, or Pochachin. But we're saying, what would we do here? What do I want to do here? What's going to tell the story best? But yeah, world cinema, is in my blood, in my DNA, and working with, my cinematographer and some of the same collaborators again, you get to really get in a relaxed mode where you're not kind of teaching other people your style. You're saying, we're doing this. This feels right because this is the story we're doing. But thank you. That means a lot to hear. See when?
Is there one over here? Go ahead. Yes, wherever. I can't see anything. There's lights
Going
here.
back to the one set thing, there's going to be unique challenges. Other than Connor's driving, what was one of the big challenges you had to overcome with
shooting in the car? It may not be apparent to people watching the film. Hopefully you're not thinking about it. But when you're shooting a movie, you want it to be as quiet as possible. So we couldn't have the air conditioning on, and we needed to have the windows rolled up, so there was no road noise. So it was 105 degrees outside, and in the car with no AC and the windows up, and
dusty.
Two actors, sometimes 4 actors, at least 3 crew members, all in this car. It was excruciatingly hot, and it's not something you'll ever look and say that's a showy, impressive thing. But like for these actors to not show how miserable they were, like physically uncomfortable they were constantly, and be in the moment was really very impressive. It's one of those things you don't notice that are really hard. It was very, very hot. Whatever the reverse of the Revenant was, we were that. It was very warm.
All 4 of them are available, folks.
Yeah, they all survived, they all hydrated, and they're all great. I recommend everybody on this stage.
Can I ask, Carol and Connor, what was it like kind of creating these roles? Was this something that once you had the script in hand, boom, I know what I'm doing with this, or was it something that took a bit of time to find these characters?
Sure. I think Nathan has a pretty cool immersive directing style. What Carol and I did was drive around in the car with Nathan for several hours as the majority of our rehearsal process. We actually auditioned in the car as well. I think
we should have this Q&A in the car.
I think, I think the challenge for me personally, and for this character personally, is figuring out how to pace Abe's levels of awareness of what's happening. Certainly we have a character who is not dumb, but naive to the realities of the situation, and so kind of looking at the script as a whole and trying to be somewhat strategic about where we ramp up his level of awareness as to the danger that he's in and what the circumstances are with this other car. It was kind of, I think, the backbone of what we did for that particular character.
I think in terms of what Deborah is doing and why she's doing it and why she's willing to go to the lengths that she's going to is really clear from reading the treatment, reading the script, and that was easy to connect to. What was really challenging was during filming, Connor's really irresistible and hard not to respond to, and Nathan kept saying to me, look at him less, look at him less, no, less, don't look at him, look out the window, look out the window. And I found that incredibly challenging to not respond to my scene partner all the time. So keeping that focus on the task at hand and what might come over the next ridge was incredibly challenging for me as the actor sitting in a small car with Connor Marks.
You see a lot of the same directorial slant, whereby the camera also, like, oh, we'll film the trees.
Other questions out here? Make sure I look over to this side, I know. Is there some, I can't see anything obvious here. Go ahead.
How was it producing? I didn't know if this was your first feature that you produced and also started.
It was. I think that I lost 10 years at the end of my life. I think that your question is just how was it? That's good. I think that
Or did you find it challenging?
I did. I think that my contribution as a producer was lessened by being an actor, and my contributions as an actor may have been lessened as being a producer. I hope in not any dramatic capacity, but I find it very difficult to wear two hats at the same time, particularly when so much of my job as an actor typically is to be an exceedingly coddled individual on set. And I don't mean that in a self-effacing, self-deprecating way. Like, it's my job to not pay attention to any of the shit that's going on, to an extent. To not pay attention to the shit that's happening around me in order to focus on the scene at hand, and so that, you know, my bad morning, the fact that we're running late, any of these other variables don't affect what happens when Nathan calls action. And so maybe, very likely, things go wrong on all productions that I've been a part of, and I've just been blissfully unaware of it. But in this capacity, being also a producer, it's my job to pay attention to the flat tires situation, to the loss of a certain lens, to XYZ. So it's suddenly, you know, the dreamy play golf during lunch and sit in my trailer for the rest of the day life was no longer available to me.
He's available for your film, folks.
That's not my sell as a producer. If I wanted you to hire me as a producer, I'd say something totally different. I'd say, I'll produce the hell out of your movie. But that's my honest answer, as judging both.
Other questions?
We shot in a pretty small area south of the Tri-Cities in central Washington. If you've ever driven I-82 from Kennewick down to Oregon, just look left, and that's basically where we were. The airplane scene near the end was a little airfield near Ellensburg. But other than that, we were in the Tri-Cities the whole time. And everyone in the Tri-Cities was really, really easy to work with. I mean, we were on private property nearly all the time, these farms. Everyone was very, very pleasant. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Go ahead. We aren't the first people to shoot out there, but I think in some of those farms we're the first people to shoot out there. But it's beautiful country. Like, the movie looks great, but we could point the camera in literally any direction, and it looks good. So it makes your job as a director and as a cinematographer a lot easier when nature is doing the work.
Yeah. Time for a question more, perhaps. Go ahead. Yeah.
How much art direction did you do?
Questions around how much art direction did you do with the film?
I mean, it's a contemporary film, and it's a film set in exteriors, so it's not like we designed a whole brand new world. Our production designer, Gwen Hamilton, is here. I don't know where she is, but she did an amazing job in that, you know, this isn't a film where we could make Deborah wear, you know, some really dramatic outfit to illustrate her character. It was all subtlety. So let's find ways, in subtle, realistic ways, to kind of illustrate these characters, to tell us something about them, because there's so little the characters tell us about themselves, if they're being honest. I mean, sometimes they're lying. So she did a really great job, and it was an effort in comprehensiveness and subtlety, I think, and it just, you know, everything looks real, I think. I mean, I hope so. It's a small film, it's a small cast, but everything looks like very plausible and lived in, and the costumes and the clothes and the cars. She was constantly putting dust on the cars to make it look like we'd just driven from wherever we were supposed to have driven from. That was like most of your time on set, right? Dust? Yeah. But yeah, she really owned it, and she gave me the luxury of not having to think about it. Once I saw after the first couple of days, she was just taking care of it, so it was great.
So I joked about the Gravedigger story, and if there's a Hell Below 2, what is coming up? Do you have another project that you're working on?
I'm trying to put it together, another film, not a sequel, sort of a supernatural.
I wouldn't expect so.
If somebody really wants to make Hell Below 2, come talk to me. Because we have several characters still alive. Sorry, Connor. You're out. Unless we could bring in a twin or something.
Twin brother.
No, it's a. Yeah, it's a supernatural thriller, kind of a more, where this movie was very external and observing these people, the next movie is inside one person's head as stuff goes really wrong, so. Hopefully in 2 years I'm back here showing it. Yeah.
Super. Well, I want to congratulate actors. It's an incredible job that you have put together here in terms of capturing this world that Nathan has taken you on. And Nathan, congratulations. It really, I mean, the gentleman out there said it very well, that it's rare to have a nut that's this much fun to kind of chew on and play with in your head. And I can't wait to dream tonight and figure it all out. Give them all a big round of applause.